Hey guys, it's Mrs. Doherty here. So, as you know, we're kind of getting ready to wrap up a lot of our weather information that we've been learning about. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about before we wrap up is weather tools. So, we're going to take a look today at all these different weather tools and what their names are and what the purposes for each are. All right, so you can see I have some pictures here. So, I'm going to try to make them a little bit bigger so you can see. So, this first one, this is called a wind vane. Now, I think of wind vanes a lot. You think of like a farm with a barn or something like that. So this is my wind vane. And you can see there are directions on there because wind vanes do the following. Wind vanes are an instrument, now for your paper, guys, since you don't have the pictures, you can try to like sketch what it looks like if you'd like, or you can just do the name and then write its definition. But if you don't think you'll remember what it looks like, it might be smart to make a little sketch. An instrument used to show the direction of the wind. So wind vane, again, an instrument used to show the direction of the wind. And again, you can see mine. I've got a little rooster up there, and I've got an arrow pointing, and we've got north, east, south, and west sort of spinning around there. All right, so wind vanes measure wind direction. So far, so good? All right, let's head now to our next picture. All right, guys, so here is my next picture. This kind of looks a little bit like a clock, but you'll notice what's different about it. It has the words stormy and rain and change and fair and very dry. And at the very bottom, kind of where 6 would be on a clock, you can see the word that is its name. So this is a barometer, So I'm going to go ahead and write its name a little bit bigger. And you can write it as well. It's not a barometer. I know some people like to call it that. It's a barometer. So a barometer is an instrument I know that looks like an A. It is a U. Let me erase that a little bit. There we go. An instrument used to measure atmospheric. This is a very fancy word for air. So I'm going to put air in here. Pressure. Atmospheric pressure. So we have high and low pressure. So if we have high pressure, guys, high pressure, our barometer would have fair or dry because it's associated with a cooler but drier air mass. So high pressure days bring us clear blue skies, nice for picnics. It's not meaning that it's going to be freezing cold if it's high pressure. It just means the air mass as a whole is slightly cooler. So therefore, precipitation is not most likely going to happen. It's going to be those clear blue sky, nice days. Now, if we have a low pressure on our barometer, we are going to have mostly overcast or cloudy. So we could have some clouds. It could be gray, would be slightly warmer, maybe a little bit. Because again, that warmer air mass is less dense, but it's also creating a lot of condensation because it's constantly rising up. And it would be associated with precipitation. I'm going to abbreviate because I can't put the whole thing there. So precipitation. All right, so our barometer, used to measure air pressure. High pressure is fair and dry, and low pressure is cloudy gray precipitation. All right, guys, this next picture might be a little hard to tell from the black and white image, but what it is, it's sort of a cylinder shape here. And it has a scale and it's collecting rain. So rainfall, when it goes in there, you can see how much you have. Sort of like a measuring cup could with liquid. But this is known as a rain gauge. So let me pick a new color here. A rain gauge. So there's my rain gauge. That's how I spell it. And it is an instrument used to measure rain. So if you're drawing this on your paper, I would just go ahead and make something that kind of looks like this. Just something like this. Put some liquid in it. Maybe show some spots on the side there. That would be how I would draw a little rain gauge. So it measures the amount of precipitation that falls, liquid precipitation. All right, on to the next one. Okay, guys, so here is another picture of a weather instrument tool. This particular one is also one that we would use to measure wind. Now, you remember the first one we talked about was a wind vane, and a wind vane measured the direction of the wind. Well, this one has a pretty cool name. This name is called an anemometer. So, let me pick a good color here. I'll do orange. All right, anemometer. It's A, N, E, then mom, iter, anemometer. Now, you're going to notice an anemometer, they have right here, they almost look like little cups. Do you see those little cups? That allows it to sort of collect wind in there. And what happens is it is going to spin. And as that is spinning and spinning and spinning, it is going to calculate the wind speed. So an anemometer is an instrument used to measure wind speed. If you're going to draw this yourself, if you're making a little picture, I would just kind of draw something like this and just make it and kind of put the little cups so you can see it sort of like that. That would be my little anemometer picture. All right, on to the next. All right, this next one is probably the one that we're definitely most familiar, I would say. We've used it all the time. You use one when you're sick. It's a thermometer. Thermometer. To define it, it is an instrument used to measure temperature. Now remember, temperature is the measurement of how fast those particles of air are moving and zipping around. Well, a thermometer is the device that we are able to get that measurement from, and we call that temperature. All right, one more tool left. All right, guys, so this last one you're going to notice, and at first it looks a lot like that barometer because, again, sort of resembles a clock in a way. But you can see this time, if you look at the labels, it has a number scale, and it says very dry, normal, and then this word, but it's really hard to read on my picture, but it says humid. And then we've got a percent here. So this is an instrument that is going to be used to measure the amount of humidity in the air. And it is known as a hygrometer. And you can see it's written down kind of where 6 o'clock would be, like I had said about a previous one here. So hygrometer. There's my hygrometer. And it is an instrument used to measure humidity which is, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, the amount of water vapor in the air. All right, so these are the main tools that we would probably encounter if we were taking a look and trying to set up a weather station to see what the weather was going to be. What you're going to do with this later today is you do have a final wrap up, and then tomorrow you have a study island that you can definitely use this to help you with. So there's one more video today, which is going to be taking a look at clouds and how that has an impact on our weather as well.